my very first call with the recruit, the phone screening with the recruiter. He was like, "Hey, are you the truck driver that insert friend's name referred?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." you know, yeah, just rolling on through. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be wondering how somebody could go from this, but it's a load home. We're 5 days from home, so you just got to kind of nut up and do it. So here we go. To this, what kind of things can you help me with?
I can help with a bunch of things. Whether you need info, tips, or just want to chat about a topic, I'm here for it. Got anything specific in mind?
Hey, welcome in everybody. My name's Kep, and this is the official launch of my channel, rebranded into the IT Unprofessional. And I'm really glad you're here. If you've been around, you know that this channel's seen many phases and has provided various levels of content in different areas, and we're back. All right, we're back to really do something I'm super excited about. I've debated on getting back into content as a whole, and then specifically what has now come to be this video coming out, right? So what is the IT Unprofessional? Um, it's a way for me to publicly display my learning path into technology. In 2023, I was driving a semi truck. I was a flatbed truck driver all across the United States, and I absolutely loved it for a short amount of time. It was a wonderful experience. I got to see so many amazing places, so many different experiences, and it was such a wonderful period of my time. And then it really started hitting me. I was like, I don't I don't really want to do this for the rest of my life. The average life expectancy of a trucker is somewhere around the age of 60. I'm 31, turn 32 here in a few weeks, and I'm just like, man, like I'm halfway there. Like I don't want to do that, right? So anyway, that was part of it, and then like the work life balance is I mean, really, there is no work life balance while you're on the road. And just overall, just something I didn't want to do forever. So how did I get into technology? Right, technology has been something that I've been fond of for pretty much my whole life, in one way or another, whether I realized it or I didn't. Um, Specifically, growing up as a gamer, dude, I played a lot of video games as a kid. Outside of baseball, I had two loves as a kid: baseball and video games. Right, um, and those two things kept me pretty occupied growing up. And so, I remember it may have been like eighth grade, 2008 or so. Um, my uncles flew in for the holidays, and they had brand new the first iPhone that came out. And I remember sitting at my grandpa's house, and they're playing on this, well, I have one here, right? But they're just playing and, doing, I'm so fascinated. Like, what is this? This is crazy. I don't know, 15, 14, 13, somewhere around there, a young teenager. And I'm like, this is crazy, right? Alien technology, whatever you want to say. But, anywho, so that kind of really piqued my interest in tech. And, um, later on, I get a MacBook Pro during high school, and I get to use that. And I felt super like I'm in high school, and I got this really cool laptop. I'm like, man, this is super neat, right? Um, and then ultimately, I didn't choose. I couldn't tell you why I didn't choose tech going into the military. Like that would have been phenomenal. Excuse me. But anyway, I didn't, and I ended up doing medical field in the military, and fast forward up to 2023, leaving the trucking industry, and took some time off really to say, hey, like, what do I want to do? And I had this inkling to go into technology, but honestly, I just felt too dumb. I felt like it was stuff that I wouldn't be able to understand. Looking at the tech field, I'm like, I know nothing about coding, right? Zero about coding, and I had this misconception about technology industry as a whole, like being, hackers on TV or whatever. And while that is a path within technology, the tech umbrella it's wide, and it covers so many different industries within tech. And so um it was something that I was like, you know what, I'm interested in it. And this is a good segue into how did I get into tech as a truck driver, right? So in 2023, one of my best friends, he had an opening um, at his job. And mind you, I have no IT experience. I have zero certifications. I don't have a degree. I still don't have a degree. Um, but he knew me and my personality and my work ethic, and him and his boss, he my friend vouched for me. And I'm not going to name drop you, but I'm forever grateful, so thank you, dude. Like 100%. But I interviewed and I did well in my interview, and I got the position. Like, this company took a chance on a random truck. I mean, I remember my very first call with the recruit, the phone screening with the recruiter. He was like, "Hey, are you the truck driver that insert friend's name referred?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." you know, yeah, just rolling on through. You know what I'm saying? like, but yeah, dude, they took a chance. And so January of 2024, I started my new position as a technical support engineer. And initially I thought, oh, hey, IT support, I'm sure everybody has seen memes about it. But it was a lot more than just, IT support in terms of like what you see in the movies. It was, I very much I very much now understand how or why they put support engineer at the end of the title. Like, yeah, we're still in support, but we're not just saying, hey, plug your mouse into this USB port or or whatever. I do ask to turn things off and on again, because that fixes so many things. And if you work in tech, you understand. But with that being said, January of 2024, I enter the tech industry as a technical support engineer. And let me tell you about this uphill climb. All right. This uphill climb was steep. Coming in as somebody who has zero experience, I didn't know what a 404 error was. Like, when I say this company took a chance, this individual took a chance on me. Um, it's not an understatement. I They asked me in my interview, "Hey, what are you gonna do if you see a 404 error?" And I'm just like, I'm sweating. It's a video interview, kind of like this, right? I'm sweating bullets, like, shit. Like, what's a 404 error? I'm just like, well, I'd figure out. I don't remember my exact answer, but it was somewhere along the lines of, um, I'm not sure what that is, but I would be able to find that somewhere, whether that's through Google or internal documentation, some answer to it, right? Um, and that answer right there, knowing what I know now, looking back, so much of what that job was, because I've moved on to a different role now, very similar, but just to a different role, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. Um, and by the way, I'm terrible at looking in the camera per se. I like looking eye level when I speak. So that'll be something. Bear with me. We'll get on track with that. But anywho, fuck, I forgot what I'll say. So anyway, knowing now knowing what I know now and looking back, like that, despite not knowing what a 404, which is a very basic error, was at the time, that job as a TSC, or technical support engineer, was very much like, hey, you're gonna get hit with stuff you've never heard of before, supporting this software, and you're gonna have to go figure out, A, what the heck they just said to you, and B, how to fix it, right? And that those two skill sets, right? And finding out what something is what I deem it a skill set. Um, they're so important to that job, to the job I'm in now, and I'm sure to other jobs out there. So in a weird way, that was probably one of the best answers I could have provided, because it was so applicable to the job, right? So, anywho, that's January of 2024. A few months in, I'm starting to kind of find a groove. I'm learning and I'm studying outside of work. I built an Excel tracker, to track my cases, and I would highlight or have like a focal point on high volume areas, and that's where I spent my time studying. Right, so if I have an option between a rag and some Vicks, and I'm getting 60% more rags than I am Vicks tickets. Words are hard. I'm gonna go learn and study what I can about my 60% of my day to day. You know what I'm saying? Like just making little decisions like that really help me expedite my learning path. And so through these efforts, um, I actually, going into the third quarter of a calendar year, um, that's our busy season, and um, I at that point I've kind of got a decent footing, for our knowledge base, and ultimately won the 2024 Peak MVP. I led the team in I think most, if not all, of our measurable like KPIs or what we're evaluated against. And so in 9 months, I was able to go from not knowing what a 404 error was to winning an award in this position, in this tech world. And it was it was a very just emotional moment for me, because it's like I did this thing, right? And this thing that ultimately, what hindered me from getting into it was just me just thinking I was too dumb to enter this field. You know what I'm saying? To go from that to winning like a legitimate company award. Um, so I actually won an award for it. It's right here. And so it's something that it's very special. And usually I'm not the kind of guy that like, oh, look at my awards, or like really have even cared about awards really. But this one meant something, and it still does. It means something to me, and so it's just something that I look at daily. It sits right by my bookshelf. So, with all that being said, um, that was my entry in the text. So that would brings us to October. Yeah, October of 2024. At this point, there's an opening um, in the next kind of progression for my career, and I wasn't gonna put my name in because, well, really self doubt. Despite just having this banger of a third quarter, um, it just like, oh, I know what I know, and I'm good at what I do now, but I don't know that world, right? Um, but something that really stands out, I think, with myself, is my customer service or client engagement is something that I'm way better. I'm tenfold better at client relations and building relationships than I am at the technical portion of my job, right? Um, but with that being said, the opening was for a technical account manager, or TAM, and I put my name in the hat, and ultimately got selected to move and promote, really, and to promote into this new gig, um, and it was another kind of surreal moment for me, saying I'm 10 months into this brand new industry that I knew zero about, getting into it, and in 9 months or 10 months, I've won a company award and got a promotion. Um, and this isn't me to toot my horn or anything like that, but just a it was a very emotional kind of month and a half for me, um, because the self doubt and imposter syndrome, which I know a lot of people struggle with in general, um, those are real things, you know, and to go have that, you know, those feelings all year into a like a 6 week, hey, you did this, great job, here's an award, great job, hey, we have a promotion, you should, or we have a position available, you should apply for it, and then ultimately getting selected. It was just a like a very kind of a rapid progression of events, and it was a lot. But currently, my title now is a technical account manager. I manage 26 accounts, and it's been a unique opportunity. I get to strive in the areas that I love, which is client engagement and client relationships, and um, most of my clients really like working with me, and you can't please everybody, but I try, and so I tend to set unrealistic expectations for myself, and then get upset when I don't achieve said expectations. Um, but with that, it's fine. I'm doing well in my current path, my current gig. Um, but anywho, that's really the purpose of this video was my transition from trucking into technology. So what is this platform, or what is this channel rebranded into? You know, the IT unprofessional. Um, the purpose of this channel and why I'm coming back to content is I just I would go to YouTube to look up this or that, and there's so many just wonderful creators out there who are very knowledgeable and very good at what they do, and they have really valuable content. But I felt a lot of it was almost unrelatable, right? To an average person, or somebody who isn't in tech and they're looking to maybe get into tech, or you know, trying to learn, how should I learn this or how should I learn that? And my methods of learning, they're not going to be for everybody, right? But they work for me. And so the purpose of the IT unprofessional is twofold. I just wanted to be, you know, a relatable dude saying, hey, like, here's what I'm learning about right now. Let's just follow along, and you know, if you want, right? Like currently, I'm learning about Python. Sorry, a boom arm, right? I'm learning about Python, and it's super cool. And I don't use coding at all for my current job. It's just something that I want to learn about. Um, the other thing I'm learning about is AI, and a lot of AI utilizes Python, and AI is the future. So I'm like, hey, if AI is going to be the future, and I'm in technology, I need to learn AI. But if I can learn how AI works, even better. Um, Not to mention, like, just having the knowledge. My goal one day is to have the knowledge, enough coding knowledge. I've said knowledge so many times. Anywho, um, if I can learn how to create things, I think of ideas all day long. Right? I'm great at thinking up ideas, but if I can learn how to take those ideas, put them on paper, um, in terms of planning, and say, hey, I'd like XYZ features, and then have the knowledge to bring these ideas to life, and you know, have something you can click on, or use, or interact with. That's just so fascinating to me, and so that's why I'm learning coding, right? And other technologies, and that's what this channel is going to be about, is my learning path on a public display, right? So I can, maybe have some accountability there, right? Like one video a week, it keeps me, oh, I gotta do this, right? um it's stuff I'm already doing too, and it's something I enjoy, and something that I've learned from prior content, because I used to stream full time. For those who may not know, is whenever you make content about things that you genuinely enjoy, and you don't make it about money, which I don't even know how to monetize on YouTube, so that's not really a thing. But whenever you make content about things that you genuinely enjoy, it's good content. It may not be super polished, or the fancy transitions, or like I can do this and throw a video at you. I don't know how to do any of that, right? Um, but there's just a genuine joy whenever you get to do something you like, and so that's what I wanted to capture, right? And then the second part of this really relates to the second part of this really just relates to the unprofessional part of this. I'm not some know-it-all. I'm not a know it much at all, kind of guy. Um, and so I'm hoping that this portion of the channel will be relatable to the average viewer, right? That hey, I may not know what I'm doing, and obviously that's going to be a preface to these videos. Like, hey, like I'm learning. My channel is about learning. My channel's not teaching, right? This is just here's how I'm learning. Follow along. Let's build some projects together. Um, and I'm not gonna be super proper. I'm gonna probably say bad words and probably break my computer. I don't know. The point of all this is I'm not a professional, right? I'm very unprofessional in terms of my knowledge. I'm very unprofessional in terms of how I speak and interact. And I like to have a very just chill environment where people feel welcome, and you don't have to be super proper about everything, because I don't feel like those are very advantageous for learning, right? In order to learn, you need to feel comfortable. So really, that is the unprofessional part. Is like, look, I'm just a dude trying to learn, and I want to share that with people who want to watch. So that's the purpose of the IT Unprofessional. I'm super excited about where this channel could go. The goal, or the kind of the schedule, would be about once a week I'll drop a video, right? And we're gonna start off with Python. Um, just I don't know all the details, right? We're gonna kind of just wing it as we go. But ultimately, I would really love to be able to host, like, once a month. We'll go live on YouTube and do projects together. Or hey, maybe if the channel grows enough, we can do hey, team versus team. Here's a project. Try to make the product, right? Like an hour, right? You have an hour to build XYZ, and we'll have a team captain that can share their screen, and I get to commentate, whatever it is, right? But ultimately, I want to build a community. That's the thing I miss most about my streaming days, was the community that was built. A lot of y'all that probably watched this or were a part of that community, at least this video. And so that's really the purpose of this, right? Is to be able to go and just build something, not just technology, but people too. So either way, this video is way longer than I anticipated. So we're going to go ahead and cut it there. I appreciate y'all stopping in and watching. Again, my name's Kep. This is the IT Unprofessional, and I'm excited to see where we go. Y'all take care.